Look at me. Look at my face. Look at my body. Look at my appearance. I'm disheveled. My hair's everywhere. My beard is... These are the games you just can't have happen. Welcome back to the 5 takeaways. Carolina loses to Pittsburgh by a score of 76-74. It was the worst kind of game because they never looked like they were going to be in it. Or even though they were winning at times, they just looked flat the whole time. We'll talk about that in a minute. Then, down the stretch, they capitulate. They're giving up turnaround threes, and you get down 3, and now you're down 6, and now you're down 7, and you're playing the fouling games. And then all of a sudden you come back, and you actually get it to the point where you have to go to the monitor with 2 seconds to go to see who it came off of last for an opportunity to potentially inbound the ball, side out of bounds, get a layup, and steal an overtime opportunity. Of course, it doesn't go our way. They only showed the replay like 1 or 2 times. The guy called it our ball at first, and then they ended up changing it to go to Pittsburgh. Feel like you stay with the call on the floor there. It definitely looked like it touched the Pittsburgh player last, but maybe I'm just got my Carolina blue-colored glasses on. Regardless, these are just so frustrating, so frustrating. I didn't get mad at the Alabama game. I didn't get mad even really at the Iowa State game. I didn't really watch the Virginia Tech game. I didn't get too mad at the Indiana games, right? Like those games, the non-conference October, November games, it's just so hard to get invested in. These are the games that matter. By the way, we always lose on New Year's. Always. New Year's is terrible for us. We always play a game like New Year's Eve or the day before or the day of, and we always lose it to bums like Georgia Tech and Pittsburgh on the road. These are the games that really frustrate me. Okay, because now this means something. Now this is our ACC standings. Now we're 1-2 in the conference. I'm doing this a little haphazardly. I don't have my boxes pulled up. Number 1 is going to be a red for energy. Just, you could tell we were on a 10-game break, or a 10-day break, hadn't played in 10 days, 4.5-day break, for the holidays, and it just looked like it. I mean, you're down 3, with a minute to go. Caleb Love, ACC's leading scorer, has the ball in his hands, thinks he has his drive to the basket, but he ends up backing up, and now he's got 2 people in front of him, and I guess he's going to dribble his way out of it. I have no idea. We'll never find out because he steps out of bounds with the ball. That results in the ball going to Pittsburgh. We're down 3, reminding you. Just didn't have the intensity, didn't look like we were ever really there. Like, Leaky would get a steal, and then we'd come down and miss a layup, or like we'd throw it to Armando, and we'd get a bucket, and then we'd just let them score. And it was just like we didn't really commit. And I understand we were winning for a large majority of this game, but come on. You know this. You know that game was going to get ugly, especially when they started getting chippy. Just we were flat. We were flat. I'm going to carry that point into this next point. It's it's a yellow for the fact that this is such a big game only team. Like, why is that the case? I have no idea. It's very frustrating. I don't understand how you can beat Ohio State in an all-time classic, maybe a game we didn't deserve to get to overtime. That was a crazy shot from Pete Nance. So maybe those games balance out. But I'd honestly rather beat Pitt on the road in a game that means something in the conference than some showcase in Madison Square Garden where you just play a good team and it's a good game regardless. You know what I mean? Like, and then the same with Michigan, right? Like, you play Michigan and Charlotte in the Jumpman Invitational, and Hunter Dickinson is kicking Caleb Love, and things are getting chippy, and Juwan Howard is mouthing off, and we show up. We have this intensity, this fire, like, oh, you're not going to punk us. I apologize for not making a Michigan video. Whatever. I could summarize it all into we brought the fight to Michigan, and we played to our potential, and we won that game relatively comfortably. The score wasn't a 30-point win, but, like, we were winning that game from the jump. Like, we knew we were going to win that game. And it's the same with Ohio State. Like, how do you win these games against good quality opposition and then come out and just look so flat against Pittsburgh? So I make it a yellow box because it's good to be a big game team when you're in big games, right? So in March, I hope we're still a big game team. And I hope in March, if, I don't know, name a good team. Like, I honestly haven't been paying too much. So let's say Xavier. We match up with them in, let's say, the Sweet 16, and they're up 10, and they start to get chippy, and they dunk on us, and they push us, and then we are like, whoa, you're not going to do this, and we come out, and we beat them, and we rise to the occasion. Great. We rose to the occasion last year in Cameron. And in the Final Four, we know this team can. What about the games that aren't big games? Like a 12 o'clock tip-off on a work day in Pittsburgh. Oh, that's not a big game. You still have to show up. You still have to fight. So it's a yellow because, yeah, I guess that'll help us when the big games come. But you got to win these not big games to get to the big games. And it doesn't look like we have the mentality to play every team with the same intensity, which is very, very frustrating. Speed run these last three. I'm going to give a green to DeMarco Dunn. He played a lot of minutes with Pete Nance being out towards the end of the game with, I don't know what it even is yet, some sort of injury. His stats weren't incredible. I can pull him up here. He went 20 minutes, 5 points, 50% from the field, and he had a 3 as well. Not great, but glad to see him back, healthy. I think his wrist is better, and he was giving us big minutes, so I'll give him a green for that. Do you even give boxes anymore to Armando and Leaky? Sure, let's give Armando a green. I mean, 22 and 13 is ridiculous in college, but it's also standard for him. He definitely disappeared in the second half. And I won't make this an official box, but Leaky deserves, if not a green, a yellow green. I thought he was good. He does what he normally does. Plays great defense, controls the game. He had 9 points, 9 boards, 4 assists as well. The reason why you could make it a yellow-green is his offensive shot selection wasn't ideal at times. At other times, he would get the ball, and it's like you just got to shoot it. There was one opportunity or one instance in the second half where he catches the ball. There's like 7 seconds left on the shot clock. He pump fakes a 3, which is fine, but then doesn't really do anything with it, doesn't drive around the guy either, and just passes it to RJ, who now has like 3 or 4 seconds to shoot the ball and gets blocked because everyone knows he has to shoot it. So it's like, not only are you not being aggressive enough, you're hurting your teammates by putting them in these bad positions. Caleb and RJ, just junior guards, dude. You gotta give us more. Caleb, 3 for 9 from the field, 7 total points. It's a red for him. He's our litmus test of, do we have the intensity, do we have the energy today? He was super flat, and the rest of the team was super flat. RJ, I won't give him a box. He had 16 points, was great from the foul line down the stretch, but it's more of the same. Like, some of those decisions that he's making are just, you would hope that a junior backcourt that played in the last game of the season last year, which we did, by the way, you just want to see a little bit more from them. You want to see more maturity and more growth. And it's like, it's inconsistent. Sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. So whatever. I think to summarize this video and this game, that is the worst game of the season for me. It's our 5th loss. It's not the first time we've lost. It's probably not even the first time that X or Y had a bad game or so-and-so has a great game for Pitt. By the way, guess who's getting added to our list of check their stats at the end of the year? That would be Jamarius Burton from Pittsburgh, who had 31 points and a lot to say. Fine. He let his game do the talking for a little bit. He backed it up. Frustrating. Regardless, that's on us, right? If somebody's scoring a lot of points, you need to stop him. Leaky was on him, and he wasn't really stopping him. So, but to get back to what I was saying, this, more than the Indiana game, more than the Iowa State game, more than the 4-overtime Alabama game that you can basically just throw away, is so frustrating because it's really starting to mean something. This is for ACC regular season championships. This is for seeding in the ACC tournament. And these kinds of wins and losses do, although you expect us to make the big tournament anyways, they do impact your overall seed. And it's like, oh, wow, we win one game and we're playing a great hot team in March Madness. Why is that the case? Oh, maybe because you lost to Pittsburgh on Friday, December 30th, because you didn't show up. You didn't walk off the bus. This is really the game that's like, wake up, okay? Just because you had success last year doesn't mean a thing this year. Start beating these teams you should beat. Maybe Pitt's good this year. They're 4-0 in the conference. Guess who's better than Pitt? North Carolina. Guess who didn't prove that today? North Carolina. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully Wake Forest on Wednesday is better. Happy New Year. What a year for Carolina basketball, right? Yeah. Go Heels.